over here, sitting next to Graham. Mark wears many hats, don't you, Mark? Mark is the CEO of Big Brothers and Big Sisters in Australia. He formerly had a lot to do with an organisation called White Lion. Mark is also the Managing Director of Social Engine Australia that supports young people and employment. He's the CEO of Stride Education, which provides social emotional learning and education programs. He's also the chairperson of the First Step program, which supports people to overcome drug and alcohol addictions and the impacts on them and their families. And finally, Mark's also a part of the Black Duck Group, a social enterprise led by a majority of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people seeking to create sustainable pathways for economic transformation in their lives and their communities. And so Mark has a heart for social justice, is involved in this local community as well. And so would you give him a round of applause as we welcome him?
Well, it's great to be here today. Just also want to acknowledge the land we're on, Wurundjeri country, part of the Kulin Nation, pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. One thing he didn't say, and maybe we shouldn't talk about it, but Graham and I are also Essendon supporters. We're going to be very quiet September, but hopefully next year we'll do a bit better. Actually, I didn't want to say this publicly, but I thought I'd better say it publicly. I met Graham when he was locked up in youth justice. You may not realise he was locked up in youth justice, but I met him 40 years ago when he was actually working to help the young kids that were locked up at a place called Win Leighton Youth Training Centre. That was 40 years ago. And I was very impressed with Graham there. He was a very much younger man, but very involved with helping young people that were locked up. And I was really drawn to him by his heart and his passion 40 years ago. Now, the great thing about Graham is he hasn't changed. He's still a very passionate, heart-led man, 40 years on, and still involved in community. That's amazing. Not many people last in the sector as long as Graham and continue to do the great work that Graham's done over many, many years. You know, through our work on the Melbourne Youth Bus, connecting with kids on the streets, connecting with homeless kids and homeless people, and also my work with the other things we do, we realise that we are in a bit of a difficult stage for many, not only with the price of things, the economy going downhill, but also with families. Families are really struggling out there, disconnection, a lot of schools, a lot of kids aren't going to school, there's a lot of kids school refusing, a lot of kids that actually do go to school are giving their teachers such a hard time that a lot of teachers are giving up on being. We all live in the community, we realise there's a lot of things going on out there, and so we're going to need people that are going to represent us, that are honest, that have got a heart and listen. You know, and there's not that many of them out there, so we need more and more in positions of power, which is federal government, state government and local government. And so I really felt privileged today when Graham said, "Will you come?" to really endorse Graham as a person, because I've literally known him for a long, long time. We're both very young men, and I think, you know, with councils, and we work with a lot of councils in the work I do, and it's really important to find champions out there. You know, you really, when you're doing community work, when you're in the community, whether you're a resident or running a community organisation or whatever you're doing, you really do need to find people that will listen and champion your cause. And Graham's one of those people that will do that. And so just fantastic that he's put his hand up to say, okay, look, I'm willing to make a difference, because being a councillor is not an easy job. And I know a few people that are councillors, and as I say, I've dealt with a lot of councils, and so it's just refreshing when you find someone you can trust. You know, a lot of people have got different agendas, and they're not always good agendas, and so you really do need to find those people out there that are going to do that. And Graham's got a history of being involved in multicultural programs, and I met him when he was doing the refugee program, the unaccompanied minors, so young kids that have got no family here. He was looking after them, and we looked at a mentoring program together and also an employment program together through them. So, you know, councils can make a difference in the lives of young people, in the lives of community people, through supporting social enterprises, through supporting, you know, different built environments for young people and other programs. So, you know, it's a real, you know, council is a governance position, and it's also a strategic position, but it's a position of representation. You need someone there that you know is going to represent the people, represent the community, and understand what's going on. And so you couldn't get anyone better than Graham. So I'm really here just to endorse Graham. I'm with Big Brothers Big Sisters, and I'll finish off with this. We've got 840 kids, 43 kids on our waiting list. So it's a lot of young people. A lot of young people that are disconnected. A lot of young people that really need someone in their life. And so it's really important that all the levels of government, council, state and federal, are really trying to help people and really trying to work out how to connect people up. Connection is so important, and so great to see so many people here today because, you know, we're all connecting, and so it's great to be here, and I'm fully endorsing Graham. So thanks very much for listening.